What's going on, Giants fans? Welcome back to Blue and Bold. And after a really exciting win versus the Philadelphia Eagles, we move on to Denver to versus the Denver Broncos. I believe it's going to be at 4:05 Eastern time. Usually us Giants fans, we're used to having 1 o'clock games, and a few primetime games, but we're never used to having 4 o'clock games. So this is going to be really interesting. I know in Denver they have like some sort of air problem, like not air problem, but like I know the air is really thin from where they're at. So hopefully that doesn't play too much of a factor. But coming in with the injury report, the Giants have a loaded one. Darius Slayton, I believe, it says he's doubtful here with a hamstring injury. Uh, Obviously he had the disaster game versus the New Orleans Saints. He got injured there, and then he wasn't able to play last week. But it didn't really affect the game much because we ended up winning that game by a lot of points. Sorry. Uh, but yeah, he was not able. He's not. I don't think he's gonna be able to go this week. He should. I feel like he should be ready next week. I mean, he was listed as doubtful. Maybe next week he'll be listed as questionable. We'll see how the hamstring looks. Chauncey Goldston, he's doubtful with a neck injury. They haven't really given him as much snaps as I thought they would. I thought they would actually have a decent rotation within the edge group, but Chauncey Golden isn't getting as much snaps as I thought he would. So maybe this doesn't play too much of a factor, but you still want him there in case of any injuries happen to Kayvon or Brian Burns or such things like that. Let's hope not. But yeah, he's gonna be doubtful with a neck injury. JMS last week he took a big hit to the head last week, I believe early in the second quarter, and Austin Slotman came in and he done a wonderful job. He's gonna have to play again this week because JMS is out with a concussion injury. Even though we all saw him like having his thumbs up like that. I thought he was gonna be good to go the week after, but seems like they had other plans. They're probably just keeping a caution with him. Maybe we'll have to see. Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, he's going to be out with a hamstring injury. He's been out for the past several weeks. I believe he will be out for more if the hamstring injury continues to bother him. Swain Bozeman is out with the same injury he had a few weeks back, the ankle injury. And a really surprising one, just popping up on the injury report out of nowhere. Abdul Carter is questionable with a hamstring injury. I wouldn't stress too much about it, but it is definitely something to look into. Um, Abdul Carter, we all know he's a tough player. I believe he will play through injuries if his name is called upon. But just maybe they keep him on a snap count. Maybe if the hamstring does bother him, they'll probably keep him on a snap count. Let's just hope it doesn't come to that because we'll need him this Sunday. For the Broncos side, they're actually really healthy. They only have one person that's going to be out, Jonah Ellis, with a shoulder injury. I believe he is a starter outside linebacker, so I haven't looked too much into their depth chart, but I believe Jonah Ellis is an outside linebacker that starts for them, so that helps us. But they got a linebacker back as Dre Greenlaw. They activated him from IR. He's listed as questionable with a quad injury, but I do expect him to play. And we all know Dre Greenlaw is a hell of a player. I mean, like one of the best linebackers in the league when healthy. So, yeah, it's not gonna be fun. They're adding to an already really nice Broncos defense, so it just makes it unfair at this point. And speaking of the Broncos defense, their total rank, they're just a force to be reckoned with. I mean, they're fourth in total yards allowed, sixth in rushing yards, third in passing yards, second in points, and then first in third down percentage, which is gonna be huge for the Giants. I mean, they're gonna have to convert on third downs if they want to beat this team. But the NFL is a week to week league. Anything can happen, and let's hope it turns in our favor. But Jackson Dart, a fun stat here. He scored on all of his opening drives thus far. He's had 3 starts. He's had 3 opening drive TDs. So the opening script for Jackson Dart, on offense has been, going according to plan. And that's going to have to happen this week again. I'm not expecting an opening drive, especially with this defense and, with the addition of Dre Greenlaw adding to that force already. But the big one, the big matchup for me is going to be Andrew Thomas versus the sack leader in the NFL right now is Nick Bonito. I'm not that worried about Nick Bonito. Like, obviously, he's a really good player. Obviously, Wiles doesn't lead the league in sacks. But I do believe Andrew Thomas is the best left tackle in the league. I can allow, he can allow a few, like, Nick Bonito's going to get his plays. He's going to get, some hurry, some pressures, maybe even a sack. Obviously, we all know he's a really good player. But if it doesn't, Andrew Thomas is not going to let him wreck the game. It's going to be the rest of the Giants' O-line you have to worry about versus the rest of the Broncos' defensive line. I mean, and they have a really solid offensive line. They've only allowed six sacks on the year. Garrett Bowles, he's a solid left tackle. Mike McGlinchey, they just gave him a contract extension earlier this offseason. Quinn Myers, he's a really solid left guard. Ben Powers, you remember him? the left guard coming in there. And then the center is the only thing that's questionable for me, Luke Wattenberg. I don't know too much about him. But yeah, but this D line, our D line is nothing to be worried about. I do believe they'll get the edge here over the Broncos O line. But our O line is gonna be put to the test. I mean, you have Nick Menino. They're probably gonna leave him on an island with Andrew Thomas, and I would expect nothing less. But it's the rest of the Broncos D line you have to worry about. I mean, Jonathan Cooper is gonna be facing Jermaine Illuminor. I believe it will be a fun matchup, but I believe Jonathan Cooper will have the edge over Jermaine Illuminor. And they have the freak Zach Allen. I mean, he's a hell of a defensive tackle. I mean, I believe he was a defensive end, and then they just converted him to defensive tackle, which he really started to make his mark. But that's really the guy who I'm scared of the most. Zach Allen is a beast, man. You know, and obviously JMS, he's out. So Asher Islam is gonna come in, and that's not gonna look pretty. I mean, if Jackson Dart is able to move around with his legs and you know, extend plays for us to get first downs or even touchdowns, that would be really, you know, that would be like really appreciated from Dart. I mean, he's gonna have to do a lot, especially versus this defense. But the Broncos' offense isn't all that great either. I mean, Bo Nix he's playing average at best. I mean, 9 TDs, 4 interceptions coming off in the year. I know stats don't mean everything, but and I haven't watched really any Broncos games, but this to me looks like he's playing average. I know I saw a stat. They're not really the best deep ball passing offense, even though Bo Nix could throw a pretty deep ball. We've seen that his rookie season, but that's not happening in this season so far. But with all that being said, my prediction for this game, I do believe we will come out with a loss. It's going to be a close one. It will be a defensive battle to me. I believe they're going to score 21, while we score 17. I believe we'll score maybe the first two drives of the game, and then we hopefully this doesn't happen, but I do believe we will get stalled only to 3 points for the rest of the game. But if you guys like this video, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe. It'll all be really appreciated. And let's see what happens Sunday. Let's go Big Blue.